Welcome to Seven Figure Entrepreneur Podcast, the #1 podcast bringing you behind the scenes with real online earners. No fake gurus here. And today's guest, special guest, Dimitri Nikolakakis.
Oh, there we go. You nailed it, man. Thanks for having me on the show.
Just to let you guys know, I was pre-framing that last name, trying to dial it in before we got going here because I didn't want to mess it up. It looks scarier than it really is, though. So, here we are. Well, yeah, thanks for being on here, man. I really appreciate it.
Awesome, dude. Awesome. No, I'm super excited to jam with you and just have a chat about all the stuff that we were talking about. I mean, it's going to be super fun.
Yeah, it's going to be really cool. We had where are you right now again?
Where am I? I'm in Bangkok. I've been in Bangkok for about 2 months now. So I've got a bunch of speaking gigs on. So I'm just traveling from city to city. It doesn't make sense. Melbourne is where I'm from is on the other side of the tiniest little corner. So it doesn't make sense to fly. Yeah.
So where were you before this? Have you just been bouncing around having fun?
Well, yeah. So I went to Bangkok in December, right? To speak at Affiliate World Asia with some of the other guys I think that you've had on the show, Tim being one of them. And from there, I went back to Melbourne for 2 weeks and I was like, nah, you know what? I may as well travel. Came back to Bangkok, just hang out. Then I'm going to San Diego at the end of the month to speak at Ecommerce Mastery Live by iStack. And then got a bit of other stuff on. And then in the middle of the year, we're going to Israel to speak at DMI Expo, which should be fun as well. It's a big digital marketing expo over there. So
you're cutting laps, basically. You are just making moves right now. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's it, man. No, it's cool.
We're going to be in San Diego too. So let's meet up, have a drink or something, say what's up, meet in person. I feel like so many online relationships, we never really get to meet people in person. So
awesome. No, there'll be plenty of drinking in San Diego. So
that is fantastic. I love San Diego. It's one of my favorite cities.
Excellent.
Great. So let's kind of dive into your story and just kind of figure out how you got started in this and how long you've been doing this for, and actually more so what you actually do in this industry.
Yeah, sweet. So, I mean, I'll talk about what I do first. I've got an agency that specializes in running Facebook ads for e-commerce businesses.
Yeah.
So of course, businesses that sell physical products, right? And we specialize in just the Facebook ad side of things. We also delve into other traffic sources like Snapchat, Pinterest, do a fair bit of Google, wherever we kind of see the opportunity. And then, so as I'm doing that, I was running a business called Ape Athletics. That was a fitness clothing brand.
Okay.
Just exited that. I literally signed the papers yesterday, which is pretty exciting. And now I've moved on to building a new brand called My Halo Hair, which is a hair extension brand. And we went live with that maybe 5 days ago or something.
That's really cool.
Yeah. And we're doing about $1,500 USD per day at the moment. So it worked out really well. Super excited to get that one going and actually scaling it now. Got proof of concept there and stuff. And that's the main project at the moment. Yeah.
So with the Ape Athletic things, are you happy about that exit, or because it brings on new things? Are you kind of sad because you built that baby up, or?
Well, so I was only actually in the business for about a year, right?
Okay.
I guess we'll get into that a little bit more when I talk about how got into it. But yeah, I was in the business for about a year, and then it was pretty much time to move on and go on to bigger things, because with fitness apparel, it's a lot more a brand play. It's influencer marketing, content, all that sort of stuff. It's not really so much direct response. And I mean, that's cool, and that's for some people. But for me, the challenge was we can't rapidly scale it the same way we can. With this hair extension thing, these hair extensions, they provide utility. They solve a problem for girls. So there's a lot more impulse buy. People will buy off the back of a Facebook ad, which means we can scale a lot faster. So it was an exciting move, and it means we're moving on to new big things, which is super awesome. Yeah.
It's interesting you touched on that with the gym clothes, because Gymshark is doing basically what you're describing there with the influencer market very well. And it's kind of just more what's cool, what is cool in the gym, and that's what people are going to wear.
Yeah. Well, this apparel, buying into a brand is a reflection of someone's identity, right? So that's why influencers come into it. And Ben Francis, who founded Gymshark, he was essentially the one who pioneered influencer marketing, or in the space at least. So yeah, it worked out really well for them. They did an awesome
He's fairly young too. I mean, I'm a little bit older, but he's quite young. I don't know. How old are you?
I'm 22.
So maybe you're younger than him. Never mind that.
Yeah. I think he's late 20s now, but he started the company when he was super young too. So.
Oh, crazy. Cool. All right. So how did you come across Shopify, e-commerce, internet marketing?
Yeah, cool. So I started when I was like 16, 17, late high school.
Yeah.
And basically I came across my little brother, his name's George, he's 2 years younger than me. He was showing me an Alex Becker video.
Yeah.
Alex Becker is another internet marketer who's got a
Yeah.
pretty big YouTube channel now. And he was talking about the whole idea of drop shipping. And this is when drop shipping was just becoming a thing, right?
Yeah.
He was talking about, you can start a business without buying any inventory, no upfront costs, and you don't have to touch the products. You just send directly to the customer from the supplier. And that whole idea, and I got into that and I started drop shipping survival products. No business mindset at all at that stage, no concept of scaling or trying to push the limits or anything like that. So we were doing like $5-10 a day budgets, and I was just letting my parent coming home after school and working on that. So I did that, and then I started university, which meant I dropped the drop shipping, let that go, because I was studying to be a lawyer, which I absolutely hated. And then dropped out from that about 18 months ago, and got straight back into the agency side of things, started running ads for local businesses and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That was a lot more fun, but what I was marketing bored me a lot. So then I got back into e-commerce, took what I knew from when I was drop shipping and built up on that a whole bunch, because of course that was quite basic. And then started with the agency. My first client, actually, my first big ecom client was Ape Athletics,
the
company that I mentioned. Yep. And then I came on as a partner a couple months after that, because we did really well right out of the gate, and they wanted me on board. So there was me and 2 other business partners or owners in that. And then ran that for about, it was 10 to 12 months ish, as I was running the agency. And that was cool. I learned a lot from that experience. And then that pretty much brings us to where we are now, starting this hair extension brand. So, yeah.
Well, so you said you learned a lot from it. Is there anything that you can kind of dig into and say what you've learned from that experience?
Yeah. I mean, for me, that was being an agency owner and kind of doing it at that stage. The way we were doing it was we just had contractors that we'd kind of like not outsource work to, but we'd pay them per job. And I had never run a business that was an actual operation before, right? And then Ape Athletics came along, and I was instantly thrown into a business that at the time it probably had like somewhere between 5 and 10 employees or contractors. And by the end of the year, we had about 20, including all our athletes that were on payroll and stuff like that. So running an actual operation like that is where I really had to grow it and step up, instead of just, agency owners, as people call themselves today. They're just like one-man shows that run ads for clients. And they're more so freelancers. But that was my first sort of experience running a real business or company, and actually having those operations, having to deal with things like making sure like all our staff gets paid on time, and sort of higher level business problems and challenges, more so than just increasing revenue or focusing on the marketing. So yeah.
Did you enjoy that aspect of it, or are you more like were you more into the ad side of thing and growing it and strategic planning for the marketing side?
Yeah, both. I loved being part of something that was bigger and that had a lot more impact, because it was like a really solid brand. We've got over 100,000 followers on Instagram. There was a big community that was built around the brand. So with normal drop shipping and internet marketing and stuff like that, you're kind of just some dude that sits behind a computer and no one really knows who you are. You might just generate leads or drive sales to an ecom drop shipping product, but you don't have that lasting sort of impact, or not even like direct impact, but more so like you don't have that air around people's lives. Like these kids and teenagers and young adults are wearing like the Ape Athletics brand and stuff like that. You're kind of following them around when they're in the gym or whatever it might be. So it was really cool to be a part of that sort of brand and part of all these people's identities and community.
That's really cool. That's interesting. So how's the agency life? So were they your only client, or do you have multiple clients now? And how do you like running an agency?
Yeah, so I've got a bunch of clients now, and the smallest client is doing about 150K a month in revenue. The biggest one, we just hit our first $1 million month back in December. And we do have a team now that supports all that. So I'm not personally like having to jump in and run all the ads. I do focus on like the strategy side and onboarding the client and coming up with ideas for their growth and stuff like that. But day to day, I don't have to be in the accounts. And again, I'm more running a business, which is a lot more fun and exciting. I prefer building brands rather than running an agency, just because agency is stressful. Everyone talks about how stressful running an agency is. When you've got one client paying you like a bunch, you don't want to lose the client, so you want to keep them happy, and it becomes, it's just a lot more stressful than dealing with a million customers.
Other people's money is generally more stressful than your own.
Yeah, absolutely. That's right. Yeah.
That's so cool, man. So coming up in this, after you saw Alex Becker doing the survival gear stuff, and then into the agency, what were some major struggles that you came across while you were getting in there, and how did you overcome them?
I think
that's a very broad question, and I understand that, but it's good to,
Yeah, sweet. So I guess there are two sort of major areas where I guess you could say there was struggle, right? Firstly, there was like the personal life side of things, right? Where I had to deal with my family. Like I grew up in sort of a middle-class family where we were supposed to, and like Eastern European background, Greek background or whatever. There was a lot of pressure on us to go to school, get a good job, climb up the corporate ladder, be safe. My parents put all their savings into sending us to private schools and getting us into that good degree and all that sort of stuff. And then for me to kind of have to tell my mom and my dad that, hey, I'm dropping out, they felt as though the last like 18 to 20 years of their life was like all the effort that they put into us was wasted. So there was a lot of sort of emotional pushback there. So that was probably the biggest personal struggle, actually sort of taking the step and still trying to keep everyone happy, which of course, at the end of the day, you've just got to do what's best for you. And then the rest will all work out. And that, of course, they're super happy now. But back then when I wasn't making any money at all and I just wanted to drop out of uni, it's a lot harder for them to see, So that's like the biggest personal struggle, I guess. And then on the business side, in the beginning, it was all about actually, one, becoming good at your craft, and two, finding clients, right? And I mean, that was quite easily overcome. I think the best way to become really, really good at what you do is immersion. I was, from the moment I woke up to the moment I went to sleep, I was living and breathing internet marketing. Instead of watching Netflix at night, I would be watching like YouTubers talk about all their different marketing strategies and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, immersion for that. And my other point, what was my other point? I just lost it.
It's okay.
Finding clients and stuff like that. Networking is the biggest thing. I mean, not just for finding clients, also to become good at what you do, exposing yourself and being around other people that are really, really great at what they do and that are where you want to be. I mean, I just went to Tim Bird's retreat in, where was it? In Thailand, in Phuket, back in December. And that was probably one of the best things I ever did. I mean, the people I met, the things that you talk about and just the sort of the exposure is invaluable. So, I mean, it's expensive to do, but if you have the money, just like pinch all your pennies, put it all together and do stuff like that, because I mean, it's absolutely invaluable. And the ROI on that, although it might not be immediate, it's like an infinite ROI, when you look at over time. So
and I feel like every event that I go to, sometimes I find it's a lot of repetitive stuff, but every once in a while there's like just that one way they describe something or one way they do something different that could completely turn your business around. And I've seen that many times. One cool thing about Tim Bird's training now is I think he offers them on the recordings on iStack now too. So even if you can't afford that, well, I don't know, I think it's like 10G, give or take.
The retreat. I think the masterminds are around $6,000. And
okay.
It would probably be about the same. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I think the recordings are fairly affordable compared to that. So, I mean, if you guys can afford it, go gobble those up and take a look at them. Yeah, they're really cool. So do you mainly focus on Facebook? Are you also doing any Snapchat or?
Yeah, cool. So we focus on Facebook. We also do a fair bit of Google. And then beyond that, we still drive traffic from anywhere where we see opportunity. We've done a bit of Snapchat in the past. And we're in the process of testing that at the moment with this hair extension brand. See how that goes. And we're also looking to start with Pinterest as well. Everyone's been telling me that Pinterest is a massive opportunity for ecom. And now going into the beauty space, I think it's congruent with what we're doing. So definitely excited to give that a go.
So Pinterest has an added platform, correct?
Yeah, yeah, it's a full self-service ad platform, just like Facebook.
So for someone who doesn't know, which is myself and I'm sure other people, how does the Pinterest ad platform kind of work, like in terms of like targeting and where your ads show up and so on and so forth?
Yeah, cool. So I don't actually know too much about it myself.
All right,
Yeah,
that's cool. Just you know more than me, so that's enough.
yeah. I can give you a general idea. So it works very much like Facebook and Snapchat. I mean,
Yeah, they're all modeling each other.
Yeah, they all have their differences. Like Snapchat doesn't use their own data; they use like third-party companies like DataLogic and Neo. Pinterest, same deal with the targeting. You target based on interest and stuff like that. I think you can. I'd assume you can use custom audiences and lookalike audiences, but I haven't even gotten that far into the platform yet. And it just the posts and your content, your ad creative, just shows up in the feed along with all the other native content. So
that makes sense.
Yeah, that's it. So the trick with Pinterest is to have really congruent, pretty pictures and content that looks just like another post and that people want to click on because they might like the photo or whatever and they want to pin it. Yeah.
So with your hair extension brand, are you going to try and do the influencer route also, or are you just going to go straight cold traffic and build it up from there?
Yeah. So the hair extensions, we're really trying to build a brand and stay away just from the direct response dropshipping stuff. That has its value in scaling and customer acquisition. So we're definitely going hard on that. That's all we've done so far.
Yeah.
But we definitely want to go down the influencer route as well. And we're going to be doing, influencers, we're going to be introducing affiliate marketing. We're going to be doing SEO. It's going to be a multi-channel approach because I want to scale that one quite hard. And I'm a strong proponent of, or believer of the fact that if you do want to scale to like 1 million per month plus, then you have to have like an omni-channel approach. You have to be everywhere, right? We're definitely going to be hitting up influencers with that one for sure.
That's really cool. What was I going to say? Are you going to keep that? So how long has it been going for now? The hair extension?
So we actually started working on it months ago, right? Just me and one of the girls on the team. But then we had all this other stuff come up and it was kind of just like one of those projects that when we just like go back to that and work on it. But then in the last sort of 2 weeks to a month or so, we cracked down on it really hard and actually made it a priority. And that was Chinese New Year time. So we launched the ads what day is it today? Tuesday. I think we launched the ads last Wednesday or something like that. That's when we officially like went live.
Oh, so it's pretty fresh then.
So it's super fresh.
Yeah.
And, the numbers are all checking out. So it means like we're getting ready to scale. And this is another sort of example of having to deal with like higher business problems where at the moment we're trying to deal with customer support because these things sell for $200, right? So about 50% of the customers that order actually message in, which means we've got a huge burden with customer support. Dealing with things like Shopify payments and all this other stuff, payment processing and merchant accounts and all of that stuff that you wouldn't usually deal with if you're just an agency owner and you're just doing marketing. So there are a bunch of exciting problems to tackle. Yeah.
That makes sense, man. That makes sense. Yeah, I didn't know it was that fresh. That's really cool though. So you must be like super gung ho about that then, because it's.
Oh yeah. I'm super pumped. I can't wait to scale it.
Yeah, that's cool. So are you planning on scaling it to sell it, or are you just planning to scale it and ride that train out for a while? And
I'm not planning. I'm not building it with the intention of like selling it or keeping it, or I guess I don't have an end goal in mind with it.
Yeah.
Probably now that I've been asked, I should probably work on that. I'd definitely be open to the idea of selling it to one of the larger hair extension companies, mainly because to actually build up once we do have like a sort of big brand built, there's a lot that goes into building community and sort of really, really understanding these girls' like psychologies and like really understanding the target market that would be quite challenging for me to understand because I'm not a girl and I don't wear hair extensions. So, I did a bunch of research in order to be able to like launch it and get it converting and stuff like that. So I have like a pretty deep understanding, but to actually build something huge, I think it has to be that next level understanding and passion for the product where who knows, once I get to that stage, I might be that passionate and that, and have that sort of understanding and depth built. So at that stage, I mean, we'll see what happens. Otherwise, I'll probably have to hire someone at that stage to do all the branding and community management and stuff like that. So I'm still very open to all ideas, you know, still deciding.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I feel like with the last company that you were talking about, the gym one, you were saying that the community made you feel like pretty connected to it. So maybe once this gets a level of community to it, you'll feel that connection to it also. And really grow with it. That's really cool, man.
Yeah, that's it. And I mean, with Ape Athletics, because there were 3 partners, I was responsible for like the marketing and the advertising and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Then we had a guy that did back end customer support operations. And then the guy that originally founded the company, his network has all these influences in it, which is how we were able to bring them all on board. And he's the one that does all the branding and the community and stuff. So this would be the first time where it's all on me, or whoever I'm responsible for doing it or responsible for hiring someone to do it. So it'll be an interesting challenge. Yeah.
Yeah. Damn. That's cool. All right. To shift gears here, total random off the cusp question here. First thing that comes to mind when I ask you this, what has been the biggest return investment in your big business? Like what have you done in your business to give you the biggest return on investment?
Oh, the first thing that comes to mind would be going to events, namely Tim Bird's retreat. I mean, because that was super recent and kind of fresh in my mind.
Yeah.
But we just went to Phuket and chilled for 4 days. We did no marketing stuff. No, it wasn't any masterminding or anything like that. It was just hanging out with all these guys that were beasts at what they do, you know, and the networking and the exposure and just like the friends that I made just propelled me and given me all these ideas to just keep going, you know. So I have to say that.
Cool, man. Anything else?
Again, down the events route, I mean, Trafficking Conversion Summit last year, that's when I really sort of made my start with the agency and stuff like that. I mean, I was going on it before, but I was doing sort of like social media marketing and just getting into it and dipping my feet. But after that, I was like, yep, this is what I want to do. Made a bunch of friends. All my marketing friends from Melbourne, I actually met in San Diego at TNC.
Weird.
So they're like,
funny how that works, eh?
Yeah, it's crazy. So just go to events and surround yourself with people that are where you want to be. That would be my piece of advice.
Your network is your net worth.
That's it, man. And it's so cool. It sounds cliche. It sounds so cliche.
It's funny, man, because like I feel like you hear all these sayings over and over again. And you're just like, you're just saying that because you heard it somewhere else, and then you start like living it. You're like, oh shit, that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. And then you hope that the people that are hearing it for the first time actually listen to it, but you know that
they're like,
so it's like this paradox that
well, what is this idiot telling me to do that I'm not going to listen to?
I know, right?
I know everything.
Oh, absolutely.
Man, I feel like you're so young. You just have like, you're just going to crush stuff if you're at this level already. That's really cool.
I hope so.
Besides your hair extension brand, do you have anything else on the horizon for you? Or any plans?
Not at the moment. Just because the hair extension thing is so fresh. I mean, and I do want to go really, really deep on that rather than start with brands and spread myself thin. For me to start something else, that'd have to be fully operational with like the COO or something like that, managing everything. Because otherwise you're just spreading yourself thin. I think the focus is the most important thing. Going back to that immersion point that I made before, you know, the fastest way to either learn or make moves, or the fastest way to achieve anything is to make that your number one goal, your sole purpose, you know?
Yeah. Laser focus on one thing, immerse yourself, be passionate about it. It'll go to that next level.
That's it. Yeah.
That's cool, man. That's really cool. So you've been speaking a lot. Do you help anybody else or do any consulting on the side, or is it just your agency in this?
That's literally all it is. Stuff is for fun, for networking, to meet people. I mean, I do a lot of live content on Facebook. So I just started this in my Facebook group. I just started doing a live stream every single day, tracking everything that we do, from like finding suppliers to dealing with the merchant accounts and all the other problems, plus the marketing stuff with this hair extension brand.
Yeah.
People are loving that now because they're literally seeing like $1 million brand being built before their eyes, right? And I don't think anyone else has really done that before. So I'm also doing that. So yeah, the content side and that all ties in with the speaking. I love doing all that sort of stuff. Can't remember what your question was now that I've gone off on this tangent. But yeah.
I was wondering, because since you're doing a lot of speaking, like, do you have any plans to do more like one-on-one coaching or mentoring or anything like that down the road, or even in like release a course or something like that? I'm just curious because you're doing all this speaking right now. And
yeah, I'm definitely open to it. But I'm not planning on building a business around it. I mean, most people that ask me for advice, I often end up just getting on calls with people and helping them out and stuff like that. But I don't really plan on building a business out of like the consulting or coaching side of things or the courses just yet. Yeah. I know that the courses, even though there is this massive like stigma around like the whole guru thing and stuff, I don't plan on doing a course, but I know it is like the next logical progression after sort of building these businesses as another cash flow source, just because it is like the margins are huge compared to ecom where you're seeing like 20 or 30%. You go into the course space and it's all profit. It's crazy. So
that's why you get these dudes who have like one big month and then they're all of a sudden gurus.
yeah, that's exactly right. So I don't want to get caught up in that. That's basically why I haven't done it. But if I have like a bunch of epic brands that are currently like cranking and doing awesome shit, then I'm open to doing it because there's a lot more authority and credibility and stuff. Yeah.
What's the name of your Facebook group if the listeners want to know?
Oh, okay, cool. It's called Epoch New Age Marketers. Okay. So it's like EPOCH. Epoch New Age.
I'll find it and we'll plug a link in below. And
that'd be awesome. Yeah. So you're doing the live.
I mean, like that's really cool, man. Like we don't like shout out too many groups, but that's pretty awesome. Really? Step by step, because that's awesome.
Yeah.
Nobody does that.
Yeah. And we also like at the I get everyone to ask their questions, and then the next day I answer the questions from the previous day. Yeah. So it's like we do a Q&A on the back of it every single day.
Wow. You're a busy man.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
Do you have any? So I'm assuming that you're working through all the finding vendors in China for this stuff. I'm assuming it's from China, correct?
Yes.
The hair straightener stuff.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice on the best way to go about finding the best vendors for your products so you can actually have a reliable product that you can build a brand around and not stress about quality?
Sorry, man, I just lost you there for a sec. Do you mind just repeating?
Oh, sorry. Okay. So since you're outsourcing or since you're buying all your product from China, do you have any advice for someone who is looking to build a brand, looking to build like a single product store or a single product brand? Do you have any advice on how to find the best quality products and the best vendors to work with? Yeah,
well, I can kind of explain our process. Basically, what we've done is I don't manage it sort of hands-on. I've got someone on the team that does that. But basically, what we've been doing is we've just been going through Alibaba and AliExpress, just like anyone else does, I suppose. And then we contact the supplier. If they've got a good price, then we'll get a bunch of samples just for quality control and testing and stuff like that. So we want to make sure that it's a really good quality product because we're not here just to drop ship, sell, do some cool numbers and then ditch the brand. Like we want to build something long-term sustainable that's an asset and that, again, there's identity attached to it and community and stuff like that. So we make sure that it's really good quality by actually seeing the product ourselves. And then we use those samples to create our content with, right? Because we do need photos and videos and stuff like that. And if we're pulling stuff off the internet, we're just drop shipping all the day and we don't want to do that. So that's kind of our process. And then as an extension to that, I mean, that's how we found our supplier. And I think next month or the month after, I'm going to be going to China to meet with him as well, because I'm pretty sure that all these guys just add huge margins. Again, I'm probably not the best one to talk to because this is pretty much the first time I've done it. But I'm sure the margins that they add on are just so big that we can get them for like half the price, right? Yeah. And I mean, when you look at it, if the cost price of, say you're selling something for $100 and you're getting it from the supplier for $30, dropping it to $15 doesn't seem that significant because you're only saving $15, but it adds more space for your advertising, right? For your return on ad spend. And it allows you to have a higher CPA so that you can scale more aggressively. And that's where the value is, not necessarily putting more money in your pocket. Yeah.
That's a good question. So when you're working on, let's say, some of your agency clients' products, do you have a sort of spread that you like to be in terms of ROI when advertising on Facebook for their products?
Yeah, right. So we get clients asking us, like they're more at the prospect stage before they actually start working for us. All the time they ask, like, what sort of CPA should we be going for?
Mm-hmm.
What sort of return can we expect? And I always tell them the same thing. And I mean, sometimes it sounds like a bit of a cop-out sort of answer, but the true answer is it really depends on your business, the back end, and how you monetize the customers on an ongoing basis, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't want to have the lowest CPA in the market, right? That means that, you're not scaling as aggressively as you could. You're not putting enough money into acquiring the customers and actual growth.
Mm-hmm.
If you're able to, it goes back to what Russell Brunson said, whoever can afford to pay the most to acquire a customer wins.
Yeah.
So if you've got the higher CPA, you've got a lot more space with your advertising to, one, to scale, and two, to like not have the stress of trying to find a low CPA and scaling really, really slowly and incrementally to maintain that CPA.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're able to increase the lifetime value or use upsells or whatever it is to increase the average order value of that, even just the first interaction,
Mm-hmm.
then you can have a bigger CPA so that you can do more stuff and scale more aggressively. Yeah.
Yeah, we're big on the back end and retargeting with SMS, retargeting with email, all that stuff, and it makes such a huge difference. Is that something that you do for your clients, is set up that full back end also?
No. So because we just do the Facebook advertising,
Yeah.
It's pretty much just the front end, the customer,
Gotcha.
right? Having said that, we do some stuff with Facebook advertising
Yeah.
to increase the customer lifetime value, like
Mm-hmm.
sending them ads 60 days after they order and stuff like that. Or if it's supplements, for example, we had a supplement client where we would show the customers ads every 30 days after they purchase, saying like, hey, are you running out? That sort of stuff. So, I mean, yes and no to that question. Yeah.
Fair enough. All right. So if you were to do this again and start from scratch, what advice would you give yourself?
Okay.
This is speaking to the newbie out there who's listening. That's who I'm directing this.
I would say do whatever you can in your power to hang out with people that are exactly where you want to be. And I mean, not from like an extracting value sort of position, because that sucks. Firstly, no one wants to be around.
Yeah.
It's just there to suck out value and get things out of you or whatever. But also secondly, like, you want to make friends with these, like all my friends in the beginning, or when I first started to work things out, were in internet marketing, and we were just genuine friends, right? So go and find people that are passionate about what you're doing and hang out with them, and you'll start thinking the way you need to think to actually achieve that, right? To achieve a goal, you have to be the person that would achieve it before you've actually achieved it, right? So
that's confusing, but I agree.
Yeah, do you kind of get what I'm saying? Like,
I 100% get it. I get it, but it's like
someone that'll build $1 million business, became that person and then was able to build the business, right? Yeah. So it's kind of a paradox again, but it really holds true,
Yeah, that's true. Any tactics? I guess you're big on courses, big on masterminds.
Okay. Tactics in terms of like learning stuff. Facebook groups are really great because once you've done the courses and you've gotten the foundational knowledge and stuff, I feel like that side of things is kind of binary. Like you either learn it or you don't. So you just take the course and you learn it and you tick a box, right?
Yeah.
After that, I would say join Facebook groups and become a part of the community and discuss all the challenges that you're having, help other people out with their challenges, and get around that community. And that's also a really great way to learn and grow as a marketer. Yeah.
That's smart, man. That's great. That's really good.
Cool.
Damn. So so you're going to be in San Diego. Do you have any big plans or events that you're going to for that? Or are you basically going to talk? Or are you also going there as a student?
Yeah. So I'm going to traffic and conversion, to attend. I think that's, in terms of content, it's not as high level as some of the other events. Like I know iStack will definitely dive deeper into Facebook ads and traffic and all that sort of stuff.
Uh-huh.
TNC is a really good one for networking, and again, just being around the right people and doing all that, and it's a bunch of fun. And then after that, I think it's like the day after, I'm going to Ecommerce and Facebook Mastery Live to speak. But I'll also be going to that as a student, right? Because it is very high level. So yeah. I'm definitely excited to sit in the crowd and listen to what everyone else has to say. There's no doubt about that. Yeah.
Damn, that'll be cool. Well, I'm excited to meet up with you because I think that'll be great.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you going to TNC or just,
yeah, we're going to TNC. I'm not sure if we're going to get tickets. We generally don't go for we don't get tickets to the event so much. We usually just go to network and meet up with people and go to more networking parties than anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Like the Internet Marketers Party. That's a great one right before the event. I'm not sure if you're going to that, but that's always great.
It's on a rooftop, isn't it? I think that's the one I'm going to. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. They always have a big speaker there. So they had like Ty Lopez a couple years ago. Last year they had, I think is his name Jay Abraham?
Yeah.
Yep, they had him. You know, I don't know who they have this year, but it's another big name. So that's always fun.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's great, man. They're great. So anybody, if you are in the San Diego area, come down. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
I think what's the starting date? The 24th? I think so. I think it's the 24th. Oh, I could be wrong. Anyway, you can Google it. It's there. All that info. Yeah. Cool, man. Well, I think that we've pretty much covered most of your stuff here. I think we're on point. We're under time, but
that's okay.
That's good, man. It's 9 a.m. where you are. So even though your window looks like it's pitch black.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like painted black glass. How stupid is that?
That's so funny, man. I really appreciate it. What's the best way for someone to get a hold of you if they want to? Best places to find you.
So the best place to find me, firstly, you can join the group Epoch New Age Marketers, and you'll find me in there. But if you want to look me up on Facebook, Dimitri Nikolakakis or Dim Nico. My page is Dim Nico.
Yeah.
You can spell my full name. You can add me as a friend, or you can reach out there. But yeah, Facebook is definitely the best place. So through any of those channels that I just said.
Perfect. Well, man, thanks again for having you on. I really appreciate your time. And thanks to everyone for listening today. For everyone watching, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube. And for everyone listening, please give us a 5-star review on iTunes, Spotify, or Stitcher. Really appreciate it. Talk to you soon, guys. Later.